What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping in again in the mobile command center today. Just a quick short video today. I know I've said that in the past, but I'm going to truly try to keep it that way. Three areas of business to take care of. Number one, I want to update you on the old wedding ring saga. Number two, I want to give just a quick initial reaction / update of the low ring springs, being that it's only been just a couple of days since the installation. And number three, we got an announcement to make that we need to discuss. So stick around for all of it. If you've been following along, you'll know that I recently, about 2 weeks ago, lost my wedding ring. Well, I still haven't found it. Funnily enough, if that's a word, while we were washing the cars, I made a statement to my wife saying, hey, I need to get one of those silicone wedding rings. And that way, when I'm washing the car or working on the vehicles, I don't have to worry about accidentally scratching it with my metal one. Well, losing my original wedding ring was a good enough excuse, I guess, to purchase one of those silicone ones. So I've had at least one person ask for an update in terms of how the silicone wedding ring is. Whether he is actually serious about wanting to know about it or not, I don't know, but this is a good enough opportunity to just kind of give you my thoughts, just in case you're interested, of course. So there's a ton of different options out there for silicone rings. There's some very inexpensive and some that are a little more expensive. Me being the type of person that I am, I bought a few of them just because I like to try things out. So you can get a pack of like 7 of them for $12.99 on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below. You can get an assortment of colors in that package. They're not all the same. The package that I purchased for $12.99 contained a camouflage, a black, a gray, a silver, I think kind of a bronze type color. There was a few different ones in there. The fit actually is true to size. However, I don't really like those rings because they are a little thicker. And they feel kind of bulky, actually. Even though they're silicone and pretty soft, I could feel it on my finger. They just kind of looked funky just because of how bulky they were, and I chose not to rock those suckers anymore, or at all. I never wore it for more than 10 seconds. The brand I actually went with, and the brand I'm wearing now, is Enso. Now, these are not the cheap ones. They range from like $25 to $35 or $40 a ring. So relatively speaking, they're a little bit more expensive. They have a range of styles and a range of colors as well. So there's a lot to choose from. Just take a look. You can look at their website, or you can buy directly from Enso on Amazon, which is what I chose to do. And I'll put a link in the description below as well. They are super low profile and really soft. And I chose white, and I'm not sure why. Don't ask. Actually, you can ask. There's a reason. I didn't want to go with silver because I felt like it being a silicone ring, and obviously so, that if you go with silver, it's almost like trying too hard to make it look like an original when clearly it's not. I'm also not really a huge fan of black. I think it just kind of looks like a dark line on your finger, and I've just never really been into it. You know, to each his own. Honestly, not that into white either, but I guess the alternative was like a light blue color, and that just wasn't tickling my fancy either. And this is actually the dual tone white, so it's white on the inside, black, or white on the outside, black on the inside. I suppose it's technically reversible. It just says Enso inside. But these are super soft, a lot flimsier than I thought they were going to be. But I guess it just makes it fit even better. It makes it kind of feel more natural. I don't even know that the ring is on my finger, actually, which is nice. At least this style of ring from Enso didn't come in half sizes. So if you have like a 9.5 or a 10.5 ring size normally, just get the size smaller. So if you're at a 9.5, get a 9. If you're at a 10.5, get a 10. Because obviously they're silicone and they are flexible and they stretch. So you want to have a nice tight fit. And like I said, they're really, you could see, relatively thin. So, geez. Relatively thin, so you know it's not going to squeeze and cut your circulation up to your finger. I will say that even though this one is white, I've been working on the cars with it on. I've been doing some other things and even got it dirty and just rinsed it off or washed my hands with soap and water, and it came right off, and it's still pretty bright white. So the silicone material makes it pretty stain resistant, and they clean up really nice, so not too worried about that if you want to get a lighter color like myself. And I'll say, although that Enso is not sponsoring this video per se, I don't have any problem promoting the product. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, if you're a guy whose wife requires you to wear a wedding ring, and you like to work on cars a lot like I do, and you don't want to scratch them, this is a good alternative. If you're working a job where there's a risk of getting your finger or your metal ring caught in a piece of machinery and getting your finger ripped off, this is a great alternative as well. So go ahead and take a look at the links in the description. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get to more interesting stuff. Lowering spring update. It's literally only been 2 days since I had these springs installed. Got them installed finally on Sunday. It's only Tuesday afternoon right now, so I haven't hardly put any miles on the car, but I wanted to give you a very first immediate initial reaction. You'll see in the back, I still have the back seats out and everything exposed. You can see too that I had a little bit more of that sound deadener like I said I was going to do. It doesn't help now. Obviously, the car is much louder with no back seat in it, so it's amazing at the insulative qualities that the back seat has itself. Nonetheless, the reason that I left the back seat open was because I wanted to drive the car and make sure that we didn't have any rattles or shakes or shimmies or weird noises, and then I'd have to tear all the seat and everything back out again. So I wanted to leave it open for a couple of days, let everything settle in, and get in the groove, and if everything is good and tight and stuff like that after a couple of days of driving, or we'll give it another 2 or 3 days, then we'll button everything back up and car will be good as new. So very first reaction on the highway and on the interstate, I've had many cars in the past with lowering springs installed on stock shocks and struts, and I was pleasantly surprised with these. Actually, the car rides really smooth. And again, the springs are going to be settling for the next couple of days, and the more and more we drive it until they get to kind of their final height. But a couple days in, the car is really smooth, and I would say it doesn't ride any worse than stock. In fact, I would say that any new bump or shimmy or shake or any weird feel of the car on the road can be attributed to these Lexani LX20 tires. A lower profile, wider tire is going to pick up more imperfections in the road than those stock tires do. Even if they were stock run flats, you know, the low profile wide tires, they seem to catch every bump. Body roll seriously was pretty much eliminated. Obviously we can get it better with sway bars and you know, coilovers where you have some more finer adjustments, but taking a corner pretty hard yesterday on my way to work, taking a 25-mile-an-hour curve at about 45 miles an hour, don't tell anybody, the car felt really planted, and usually I could feel that kind of weird body roll, but with these springs installed, it's basically gone. So I'm really impressed right away. A $200 lowering spring that got me right to the height that I want to be at. You know, the 1 inch drop or so, or the 0.8 inch drop the RSR downs get you, just wasn't enough for me, but the super downs was just a little too far, right around 2 inches. So I didn't want to have to start worrying about you know, camber arms and you know, alignment issues and things of that nature. So I didn't want to go that low, and these Tane springs were right at the 1.4 to 1.6 inch drop, and it worked out perfect, and I think the car looks great. Not too bad. No rubbing. Sits really flush. Like I said, no rubbing or anything like that. I actually took a small speed bump at the old Dunkin' Donuts coffee shop this morning with no issue, and I can't be more pleased. Everything's really pretty kind of flush. I have a little more aggressive spacer for the front that I might just throw on there just to see how it looks, but I actually like how everything is sitting right now, and we'll take a measurement here in a second. Well, my initial measurement, if you watched the installation portion of the video, was right at about 28 inches, 27 and 7/8, something like that. So we should be brought down to 26 and a half-ish, something like that. So we'll test it out. We're parked on a hill in the driveway, so this isn't totally accurate, but we're right at 27 inches. Again, parked on the hill, but you can really see pretty significant difference over stock height. Love how the fronts fit in there. Rear wheels and tires look super aggressive with that fitment. Pretty pleased. And finally, the big announcement. If you follow me on Instagram, currently One Fine Trek, you'll already know the news because I posted it last night. A couple of months ago when we hit 500 subscribers, I made the initial announcement that it was time for a name change as far as the channel goes and the Instagram page. If you haven't been around for too long or you're not familiar, the reason I chose One Fine Trek was because we moved to a new city. I took on a new career and got into real estate a little bit. We had some home renovation projects going on. There was just a lot happening, and One Fine Trek seemed to be a good name that would, you know, that fit with the channel, that we would be following kind of the progress of the family and how these life changes affected us and how our life progressed. However, as I started getting more serious about uploading content, it became clear that my passion really is truly cars and motorcycles and racing speed and things of that nature. Being around the car scene, it's just really something that I've always been passionate about, and it's much easier to pursue things that you enjoy and you love. So knowing that the channel kind of naturally evolved in that realm or along that path, I decided that the channel needs a name that's more fitting, that's more suitable, that will attract more people. Now, if someone comes across a video and they see One Fine Trek as the channel name, they're like, they don't really know what the hell they're getting into. They may have caught one video related to cars that they're interested in, but it doesn't, you know, spur them to hit the subscribe button like you all have already. So long story short, I wanted it to be something related to what I'm passionate about, and I also wanted to be fitting for things that we pursue with this channel into the future. You know, something that pays homage to my past small business of Speed and Mayhem Studios, but also something that's more up to date with where I'm at in life and not necessarily creating mayhem on the streets. And because this truly is kind of a car culture, and the scene that I want to be in, there's a culture, you know, built around it, and everyone kind of shares the same interests, whether you're modifying Camaros and Mustangs or Q50s or, you know, Hondas, whatever the case may be. It truly is a group and a culture. So without further ado, my announcement is the channel name going forward will be Speed Culture Studios, SCS. Because it truly is, like I said, a culture built around racing and cars and motorcycles and modifications and customizations and the whole 9 yards. So Speed Culture seems to fit in studios because we're going to be creating content and videos and photography and everything you do in a studio. Hopefully this name will just be one element one ingredient in the recipe, should we say. One ingredient in the recipe that results in massive growth and enjoyment for everyone involved. So I wanted to make everyone aware that the name will be changing the channel, just in case you are subscribed currently, which I hope you are, and you currently have that little notification bell pressed as well, which I hope you do, that if something pops up, a new video pops up in the next day or two that says Speed Culture Studios, you won't ignore it because you don't know what the hell it is. Last I checked, we were at 993 subscribers. So thank you all very much. My first 993 subscribers. I appreciate you more than words can express. But hopefully by the end of the night, we'll hit that 1,000 subscriber point, and in the morning, you'll see the new channel name. I have been working on some logos here and there and some designs and, you know, things that look kind of neat, and one of them I posted up on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go to One Fine Trek right now and check it out. If you wait until the morning, it might be Speed Culture Studios. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, thank you very much for your support and your subscription. Give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Again, don't forget to check out the description to the links for car parts and these Enso rings and anything that you might be interested in. I'll try to put it down in the description. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video. 1,000 subscribers, let's do it.